Hi everyone, it's Kirei here with a new process video for Bramble Fox, and I'm using the fabulous new September Fox box and the Paper Snips number 62, Fox Cut number 106, and I am using a piece from the London Element set as well. So I have pulled out the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Storyteller collection because I thought it worked really well with the photos that I had and was perfect for the perspectives that I wanted to use. Now I'm primarily using the black perspectives, so I'm going to go with the Together Time as my title. I will use the Hip Hip Hooray. I'm bringing in a bit of blue to it, and I will use the London Underground sign and the clock. I will use the Hourglass Woody as well. So what I'm doing here, I have just gutted a wood grain pattern paper to create a 1-inch frame, and then I'm just going to stick my white cardstock 11-inch square over the top of that. I've obviously distressed the edges, and then that's going to be my base for my my layout. And I've used it's not a textured cardstock because I wanted to add some stenciling, and I just find it's just easier on a sort of a flat white cardstock. So I have 6 photos. So I'm still going with my sort of multi-photo layouts that I have been doing quite a lot of recently. But I had some photos of our day out to the London Diamond League, which is the athletics. And they were based at the London Stadium or the Olympic Stadium. And yeah, it was just really last minute decision. We literally booked tickets the day before and we just picked some up on a resale, but they're actually the same price. So it was great. We had really good seats, very close to the finish line for sort of all the races. And we had the javelin, the shot put, high jump were right in front of us. So yeah, it was really good. It was a really good, sunny day. So it was great weather. So just perfect. And this was the last sort of major meet before the Olympics, which I am recording this as we are about midway through the Olympics right now. So it was really fun. So it was a really nice lead up. So, and my husband got particularly excited because that photo of him there's a guy next to him. He just came and sat down actually later on in the afternoon. And Lee just sort of commented to him because he got really excited about one of the races, and then sort of said, "Who are you?" And he's actually he's one of the 400-meter runners. And in fact, we saw him yesterday running in the 4x400-meter mixed relay, where they came in bronze, got the bronze medal, which was fantastic. So yeah, that was quite cool. Lee was pretty chuffed to meet him when we were there. So I have mounted the 6 photos onto just a piece of patterned blue paper, and then I have brought out the Fox Cut stencil with the sort of irregular circles on it, and I've used my Distress Oxide Stormy Sky, and I've added just a bit of detail to the 3 areas that I'm going to have my effectively embellishment clusters. So I've now pulled out the paper snips, and I'm just fussy cutting out a few of these. So I think I've got the weekend, I've got photo op, I've got the little loving it. I've just punched out a Hip Hip Hooray, and I'm going to add my epoxy flare over the top of that. And then I've got a couple of tickets that I'll cut out as well. Okay, I've stuck down the photos now. They're actually stuck down with foam pads so that I got that dimension, and I wanted to be able to tuck things underneath. And then I'm starting to stick down my embellishments. So I've pulled out some coordinating embellishments as well from the Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection. Now, I've got a few of the perspectives here. Once I started to layer them up, I felt like they just got a bit lost, because I've got quite a lot happening underneath. Photos are busy, the embellishment cluster, there's lots of different colours. So, a good idea sometimes is, and it works perfectly for something like this, is to just back the perspective so that you don't get it, there's no see-through effectively. So I'm just backing this little, it's like a London Underground sign, and then I get that I've used a sort of a peachy colour, and that just was perfect because it allowed that to sort of pop just that little bit more. So I'm getting these stuck down, playing around with them, just making sure I'm happy with what I've got. Oh, that's also one of the paper snips actually. It's a little tab, real life, and there's the epoxy flare, so I'll just get those stuck down, and then I can just keep working on each of the embellishment clusters. What I found out as well, as I was going, I start to cover up some of my stencil detail, which is fine. But it was really easy for me to just add a little bit more as I went. Once I was sort of, getting my clusters together, I'd realised that I would end up covering quite a bit of it. So I just added a little bit more around the edges. So just gave me a little bit more definition. Now I'm sticking this floral cluster down, but I actually pull it up off camera because I moved where I was going to have the perspective. So yeah, so again, I'm doing the same here with the together time, because once I sat it over my photos, it just didn't sort of pop. So I'm just mounting it on this. Again, it's like a peachy pattern paper. I'm sticking to the sort of same color tones to back the perspectives. So I've just drawn around in pencil, and then I'm just cutting it out, and that's the easiest way to do it. I've definitely not done it that way before. I've actually stuck the perspective to the pattern paper and then cut around it, and that's much harder to do. So yeah, definitely do it before you stick them together. Um, oh dear, my glossy accents is a bit stuck. I'm just declogging that, and then I will stick that down to the pattern paper, and then that will sit over the photo, and actually you can see it just pops much better. So then, what have I got? Okay, so I've moved on a little bit. I've got my clusters down with my ephemera, and now I'm just sticking the final sort of perspectives down. So you can see I backed the clock the same, and I've also backed the hip hip hooray as well in the blue hip hip hooray down the bottom. And just getting these last few embellishment pieces stuck down. Here's that cute little hourglass woody, and then just finishing off with a few hearts. And you might be able to see where I've added a little bit more of that stenciling down that bottom left there. I definitely extended that out a little further. So I'll just bring in a few of the little wooden buttons. Yeah, as usual, fiddle around, deciding where it's going to go. And a few hearts, and then I'm getting close to done actually. So once I'd sort of, I quite like the large photo sort of grouping in the center, keeping it quite symmetrical. I don't normally do that, but as I've been using more photos on a layout recently, the symmetrical works actually quite well. So using that as a sort of a central feature works, and then building up the clusters around it. And I always go with that sort of rule of 3 clusters. It's one of the core design principles, work with 3s, just because it's more pleasing to the eye. So just added a few little black puffy hearts down the bottom there, because I felt I needed a little bit more black in the bottom, because my other 2 clusters have quite strong black elements to them with the title and the London. And I've only got the small clock, so I've just added those couple of extra black hearts. And then I'm just going to add some little black splatters to each of my clusters again, just to bring in a little bit more black, and just feel like it pulls it together, ties it all together. So just covering up my photos nicely so I don't get them covered in black splatters. And then I've just got to finish off my journaling, and I'm pretty much done. So I think the close-up is coming up in just a moment. Here we go. And here are some of the close-up details. So you can see the fabulous perspectives. There's that lovely Together Time title, Hip Hip Hooray. And then I've got the London Underground, and that's from the London Elements set, the little clock. And there we go. I hope you've enjoyed watching the process video. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.